This is Fergus. He is 2 years old, and he is an Australian Shepherd, and he is a crazo, to be honest. He's got a really good smile. He loves big sticks. I don't know. He's strange, and he also loves to swim. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie, and like I said, this is my puppy Fergus, and we are Ferg's Family Adventures. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. So today I'm going to be answering some questions that some of you guys have had about puppy training, maybe during training with tricks, just training with anything, but I think it's mostly with a few tricks. So we have a total of 6 questions today. So let's get into it. Alright everyone, so question number 1 is, my dog is very good at bowing, but he often bows at me when I'm asking him to try something new. How do I stop this? Thanks for asking this question, and I hope I can help you with it at least a little bit. I think this is when a dog doesn't do so it's good that they know the trick, but obviously you're going to want them to do the trick that you say. So it's good that they know the trick. I think this pretty much just happens when the dog doesn't totally understand what you're telling them to do. They don't totally understand the trick. When you tell your dog to do another trick, for example, say you tell them to wave and they bow instead and they don't wave, it means they don't totally understand. Obviously, they don't understand the wave trick, but they also probably don't understand the bow trick either. So how you're gonna try to fix this, just when they bow instead of, for example, waving, don't give any reaction. Just try it again. Only give them a reaction, a good reaction, obviously, when they do the trick you ask. So if you say bow and they bow, give them a treat, give them a reward. Then take a step back with the new behavior you're teaching, or just try like a slightly different approach that's less confusing for the dog. Let's move on to the next question. Our next question is, I'm trying to teach my dog to crawl. It's a good trick. It's pretty cool. We do lots of long training sessions, but he does not seem to want to do the trick. He gets up and tries to walk away. What can I do? Definitely just, if you even said there, you're doing long training sessions, don't make them long. That's how your dog loses interest. Slow down. If you're maybe doing it for 10 minutes, try 5 minutes. I know that doesn't sound like much, but they lose interest really, really quickly if it's something that they don't want to be doing. And that's probably not something they would choose to be doing. They'd probably rather be outside playing frisbee or something. just as an example. And also I want to say, make sure to check with your vet, because who knows, maybe if it's a puppy, it's probably able to, but if it's like an older dog, they might not be able to crawl. Like, it might not be something that they're able to do if for like their joints or whatever. So just make sure that they can do that. It is most likely then that your training lesson sessions are just too long and they're losing interest and they're becoming bored. So just try more shorter and more frequent training sessions, because if it's more frequent, then it'll happen more as just like one time a day, doing it for 20 minutes. Like, maybe try to break it down more 5 to 10 minutes each, and like 3 times a day, whatever, just like that. And they'll learn how to do it, because dogs are super smart. You can train them to do like anything. So it just takes time, and just make sure their sessions aren't too long. Alright, next question. My dog performs tricks very well in our backyard when we are alone, but if I ask him to do them in front of others or do them at the park, he makes mistakes. How do I solve this problem? That's a very common thing. When you're teaching your dog something new, a new trick, whatever, you're always going to start in your backyard inside, whatever. It's best to start inside, then go outside into your backyard, then maybe somewhere where, maybe at like a park, not a dog park, but just a park where some people will often pass sometimes, and then you can try it, after that, like your final goal or whatever, where you want to do it. Because when you go to the park, especially a dog park, if you're trying to have them do a trick there, there's obviously going to be a lot of people there and a lot of dogs. That'll be distractions. If it's at a regular park or whatever, there's going to be squirrels, and most likely your dog will be distracted by them as well. So it makes it a lot harder for your puppy to concentrate on your trick, on the trick that you're trying to get them to learn. Start at a distance from other people, and then gradually move closer to them. And as your dog becomes used to performing tricks in front of more crowds of people, he will be able to do it again. Next question. My dog has just learned to do the run to a mark and pose trick. He was doing it well from a distance last week, but suddenly he does not seem to be able to remember it anymore. What can I do? So, with this, by the way, really cool trick that you're trying to teach them. That's awesome. That's going to be super cool when they are doing it, like always. There could obviously be many reasons for this problem, but the most likely is that your dog hasn't learned the basics of the trick. And what I mean is, before moving to the next step, what I mean is you shouldn't just it's going to be pretty tough to just tell them right away, like with no anything. So the run to a mark and pose. So when you're telling them to go to a spot, you want to start with doing that. You want to just teach them, here, go by the tree or whatever. And then you're going to teach them the pose. Obviously, you can't just say, run to the tree and pose right away, obviously. You have to first teach them how to run to a spot and stay there, and then separately teach them how to pose and then put it together. That's the most likely how you're going to do it. He could obviously also have accidentally had something wrong, like running too far or moving on the spot, marked and rewarded. To fix this problem, go right back to the beginning of the trick and teach it from scratch. It won't take long to teach this behavior because your dog already knows the tricks, like the parts of the tricks, and then we'll know the actual trick. Next question. It seems to take my dog a long time to learn anything I try to teach him. He gets easily confused and makes a lot of mistakes before he gets any part of a trick right. Why is this happening? Sorry, but it's probably your fault. It's probably not your dog's fault because, like I said before, dogs can learn to do pretty much anything, especially super smart dogs. Some tips that might help: just look at what you're doing. Look at the timing of your marking and rewarding, because you might not be doing it at the right time. Like, how accurate are you with it? If you don't mark right at the time that your dog does what you want them to do, it'll confuse them. Your dog won't understand what they've just been awarded for. When you're teaching your dog a trick, mix it in with other tricks your dog knows and does really well. If it's a trick, if you're learning 2 tricks at a time, probably don't mix those together. But when you're doing it, build your dog's confidence so they will get one right for sure. So start with just a sit, a shake, things they know how to do for sure before moving on to a more tough trick like crawl or run to a spot and strike pose. Make sure you're doing more easier tricks that your dog knows. So it'll help make sure that they do get rewarded, even if they haven't quite learned the next trick that you want them to learn. So just make sure that you're doing that. Next and final question. I want to tell my dog he's doing something correctly without marking and rewarding, and therefore ending the exercise. How do I do this? Maybe just use another word for approval, one that they're not familiar. Maybe like a word that doesn't have a reward following it, if that would work for your dog. With some it might not work, but if that would work, then try that. The most common one would probably just be good, use your clicker, whatever you're using. If you're using a clicker or just your voice, a sound, whatever, just good, just that. And it's because we've often already taught our dogs that word. Like, I'm pretty sure every dog would probably know the word good if they've been trained like at all. So just say good in a voice that your dog likes. So that is the end of the video. Please comment below if you have any other video ideas. If you want to see more questions about puppy training, I hopefully have some helpful answers. I'm sure they won't hurt. And I hope that they will help at least a little bit for you and your puppy. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Good luck with training.